Kalen Vorn, senior underwriter for the galactic mutual assurance conglomerate, felt a stress throb in his third and fourth tentacles. Before him, shimmering on his holodesk, was the payout authorization for the Stardust Drifter, a Xylosian freighter. The official cause of loss: catastrophic hull breach due to an unscheduled micrometeor shower in the Tau Ceti corridor. The payout was enough to fund a small moon. This was the fifth such act of God payout this cycle. His profits were hemorrhaging. The board was making noises that sounded suspiciously like early retirement. In the galaxy's vast, mostly empty, and statistically benign space lanes, his clients were managing to find new and impossibly expensive ways to crash their ships. They were either the unluckiest beings in the cosmos or the most incompetent. Kalen suspected the latter. Desperate, he dove into the deepest data nets, searching for a solution. He bypassed the usual risk management firms with their glossy presentations and 7-cycle plans. He needed something different. Something ruthless. His search led him to a quarantined sector of the personnel archives, a file simply labeled Death Worlder. Species: human. Planet of origin: Earth. A world so ludicrously hostile, with its crushing gravity, tectonic instability, and biosphere dedicated to mutual annihilation, that achieving sapience there was considered a statistical error. But one data point stood out. Humans possessed a cultural concept so alien, so brutally pragmatic, that Kalen's translator struggled with it. They called it common sense. A week later, Frank Miller sat opposite him. The human was unimpressive. A soft-skinned biped in a rumpled fabric suit, sipping a steaming beverage he'd brought with him. He looked less like a financial savant and more like a creature who'd misplaced his herd. "So," Frank said, setting his mug down, "you're getting fleeced." Kalen shifted his bulk. "We are experiencing a statistically improbable run of high-cost claims." Frank snorted. "Right, fleeced. Let's see the first one." Kalen pushed the Stardust Drifter file across the holodesk. Frank scanned it for less than a minute. His finger tapped a single line item on the ship's manifest. He then took a physical stylus, a primitive but effective tool, and scrawled 2 words on the digital form before pushing it back. Claim: denied. Underneath, in messy script, was the reason: failed to install armored plating. Basic precaution. Kalen was aghast. "We can't do that. The Xylosians will sue. The meteor shower was unforeseen." "The corridor is called the shooting gallery by every trucker with more than 10 cycles on the route," Frank said without looking up. "Not buying extra plating for that run isn't an unforeseen event. It's called being cheap. Next." Stunned, Kalen slid over the next file. A gnarl battlecruiser, the Indomitable Fury, whose warp core had overloaded during routine maneuvers. Frank's review was even faster. Claim: denied. Reason: attempted to hot rod a fusion reactor. Predictable stupidity. "But their engineers are certified," Kalen protested, his voice a high-pitched warble. "Their engineers bypassed 3 safety governors to get an extra 5% speed," Frank countered, pointing at the energy output logs. "On Earth, we call that winning a stupid prize." Next. For 2 days, it went on like this. A freighter that decompressed because the captain used industrial sealant to patch a hull fracture. Denied. Duct tape is not a long-term solution. A luxury yacht that drifted into a gas giant because the navigation I was busy streaming a new drama. Denied. Don't let the TV drive. Kalen prepared for the fallout. He expected a flood of lawsuits, diplomatic incidents, maybe even a corporate sanction. Instead, silence. Then the quarterly reports came in. Payouts had plummeted by 99.7%. profits were astronomical. The board hailed Kalin as a cold-blooded genius, a master of fiscal discipline. They gave him a bonus and a corner office with a view of a nebula. He, of course, gave half the bonus to Frank, who just grunted and asked for a better coffee machine. One morning, Kalin walked into Frank's office to find him leaning back in his chair, feet propped on the desk, casually reviewing a new claim. The hollow image showed a massive, tentacled beast of impossible size swallowing a survey ship whole. Kalin watched as Frank, with the serene calm of a man who has seen it all, picked up his stylus. He didn't even hesitate. Claim. Denied. Kalin leaned in to read the reason, the final perfect distillation of humanity's brutal, death-world-forged logic. Encountered a giant monster. Should have brought a bigger gun. That's on you.